Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Pain of Change with Dr. Clarice. I am Dr. Clarice, and you already know. I am excited. I am exuberant. I am so, so happy to be here. Tonight, I have a very special guest. She's a special guest and a very good friend, RAINELLE Saunders. And Renelle Saunders is an author, playwright, a producer, a director. When I met Rainelle, probably, oh my goodness, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago through Darn Olam, and that was our biggest connection. She was working on a book called Poppy's Place, and uh, she was really excited about that. And the next thing I know, uh, she's written a play. So I should probably also add that she's also a creator. And so I want you to help me welcome her because I think that there's so much more that RAINELLE Saunders is going to tell us about herself. And I'm excited to hear it because when I did advertise this podcast, I got all these people say, I know her, I know her, I know her. So her new project, which is Cut the Crap, we don't just want you to know her. We also want you to support her and support her creativity and all the amazing things that Rainelle brings to the table. So please, without further ado, please help me welcome Miss RAINELLE Saunders. Hey,
Hi.
Rainelle. How
Oh,
are
yes.
you?
I'm doing great, Clarice. I am very, very honored to be your guest. I know, you asked me a few times for a while. You've been going so long. I can't believe how many years have passed since I was saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to come on there when I have something really good to talk about.
Well, it was more like, oh, okay. It was more like, but you're here. You're
I'm
here.
here. Better late than
So,
never.
and congratulations. I mean, you have evolved and become a serious force to reckon with. I mean, I know that you've gotten awards for your, I think Poppy's Place got some
Oh, no,
awards.
for my short film,
Right,
Layers.
right, okay.
Yeah, we got like 15 awards during the film festival circuit for about a year and a half. So that's really good.
What was that? What was I didn't I knew you got some awards, but it wasn't for Poppy's Place. What was it for?
No, that was for Layer. That was one of those projects that I did popped up during the pandemic, when I'm trying to figure out other stuff that I can do. And I
Right.
thought, wow, when we came kind of out of that, because I did a lot of writing during that time, but when we came out of that, I'm like, I want to make a movie and tried to, got started. I have several screenplays already completed that I've had for a while now. And I decided there was one I really wanted to do. But for some reason, it costs a lot of money to make a movie if you want to do all the stuff I was trying to do with it, right? So
Right.
one of my good friends and co-producer on the film, she suggested, well, why don't you just write a short film? Let's start small, get your name out there as a director. People know you, for doing other stuff. And I said, okay, but I don't have to write anything. I just went into the vault and found a cute little short film that I had written years ago and decided to shoot it. And we shot it and put it out in the festivals, and it did really great. It's a beautiful little 15-minute film called Layers, and it's about the
Layers,
idea.
that's what it was. I know it
Yes,
started with layers, yes.
yes, and
Right.
whether or not love it first sight actually exists. So it's about love and spirit. Yeah, a
I'm a
lot of
Google it. I know it's on YouTube or somewhere, I'm sure. So let me ask you
yeah,
a question.
yes.
One of the reasons why I love doing a podcast is for two reasons. I get to be nosy and find out about people, you know. But it's also my therapy. I love it's good therapy. I
Yeah,
can bring on people like Dr. Gloria Morrow, who if
I
I'm
love
going through
her.
something, so as a child, tell me about little Rainelle and what incentivized her to become a writer?
Oh, well, I literally have been writing since I was 6 years old. I'm going to credit my grandmother. My grandparents raised me, although I had my parents around, but they had divorced when I was young, and then they remarried. And so I had like six people, step parents, parents, everybody, was trying to. I'm like, why do I have all these people trying to tell me what to do? But
Right.
I had a good imagination, but my grandmother was an avid reader, and she always wanted to be a teacher. And so she instilled all that reading and spelling into me when I was very young. So by the time I was in the first grade, I was like in a gifted class. They were considered, there were six of us. They would put us in the back and we would write stories while the other kids were learning how to do their cursive writing. And I say that now, I've dated myself because I don't even think they do that anymore. I don't know.
I
But
did not do cursive. I wrote my granddaughter a note in cursive, and she was like, and my daughter graduated magna cum laude from in a biomedical engineering program, and she was like,
why you being fancy, right? But
right.
yeah, so that it started there, and I think it's because I was reading and spelling and doing crossword puzzles from the time I could, So that's why. And ever since then, by second grade, I was writing scenes and passing them out to my cast and my classmates, saying, okay, Judy, you're gonna play this role, and Bobby, you're gonna play this, and then we would go out at recess and perform for the school. It was just crazy. So I've been doing it forever, writing. That's my gift. I didn't know it was my gift. I just thought this is easy. But
Well,
it
it's your
was a gift.
passion. It's your
Yes.
passion. And
Yeah.
sometimes we have a passion like that. You're distracted and you pause it, but some kind of way you come back to it anyway. And that may
Exactly.
be that, well, maybe that's because when you said you went to your vault, that means that you had paused your passion and then incentivized by the person that was your co-producer to do your thing, and you
Yeah.
did.
And
So
and I've
what?
always done it. Clarice, it's because I wanted to be an actress. So back then, like the writing was like anybody can do that. That's what I thought. I was like, anybody can do this. It's so easy. However, with the acting, that's what I thought that's what I really wanted to do. And I did pursue that, and all the way to NYU. I was in the drama department. However, the writing, like who knew? One day I shared some poetry with a friend that was kind of depressed. She had a breakup, and writing has always been my therapy. People wonder, like, oh, you must not have ever had anything bad happen to you. You're always so happy, happy, happy. I was like, that's because I poured all that stuff into poetry, songs, stories. And if I need to revisit that feeling, I'll go read it, but I'm not living with it inside me anymore. So that's been so kind of with your pain of change theme. That's how I always dealt with pain. I had that gift, thank God, that I could put it in paper, in song, or somewhere where it didn't have to be inside of me, and I could, reclaim my joy. So that's how I've
That's
always.
awesome. I mean, reclaiming your, hey, we may just have created a new project, reclaiming your joy, because
Yeah,
that's important. Because we need
it
to
is.
reclaim our joy, and so that, I mean, my God, I mean, I think that's really my. I have a degree in theater and a degree in TV and film writing. So there is a point of my life that that's what I wanted to do, act, write, but I ended up uh, getting a doctorate in writing on leadership and implicit bias and doing talks on that. So that's where
Yes,
I ended up going the other way instead of just staying corporate. I mean, instead of staying creative, because
creative.
in
Yeah,
my day, it was a lot harder to break into that world. And then I lived in Chicago. That probably didn't. So, but here we are now with you doing something
yeah.
that's totally amazing. And you said something that I want you to expound on. Well, first of all, you're originally from Ohio. I remember, maybe
No,
no.
I'm
Where?
from Connecticut.
Oh,
Born and
Connecticut.
raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Hey, shout out to Bridgeport. Okay. And how long have you been in California?
Okay, so after I went to NYU. I didn't graduate. I stayed a couple of years. Ended up going back to Connecticut. Got my first like job, and then eventually moved back to New York. Stayed there. Started my professional career, and then in 1986. Now I always knew I was coming to LA because I had an aunt and an uncle out here, and they would send me postcards, with the palm trees thing, and I thought, oh yes, I'm going there, but I didn't want to do that first because I thought I might never leave, which has been the case almost because I came out in 86, still here. I did go back to New York for 2 years to write Poppy's Place, and
Oh,
only because I was in a project that was going to be really good. It was like that big break project, um, and the writer's strike of 2007 2008 hit and totally blew that up. And so I thought, okay, the way that I handle my pain, I thought, hey, someone else was responsible for kind of pulling the rug out because I wasn't the writer on that project, although I was trying
okay.
really hard. But the person who was, I just had a feeling like he had no respect for us, my partner and I. We were going to be producers. We had a production company, and when it blew up, I thought, okay, I need to do something that I can control, something that nobody can take away from me. And my friend in New York always told me I could always come back if I ever needed to get a break. So I went back there and ended up for 2 years, 2008. So big things happened, though. I went registered to vote in New York so I could vote for Obama. And then I also, Michael Jackson died while I was there. So, and my friend lived like a few blocks from the Apollo. She was gone taking care of her mom that day, who was in a nursing home. And I went by myself over to the Apollo and just sang with all these strangers, and we just had a blast. So those were like big things where I kind of wished I was here, but I made the best of it being there. And yeah, so, but when I came back, I had a book. So
Right. You had a book and you've done well with that. And then you said something that I thought was very interesting. You said that, well, let's bring people up to date. Cut the crap. Okay. So I have cut the crap up here. So people, it's not like, that's not a subliminal message. That is your new, right? Right.
yes, it is.
It's Renelle Saunders' new project, and it's her new stage play. And what I you said something that I would really love for you to expound on. You said this project is the project that you're most proud of all your work, even the stuff in the vault. You got a vault, okay?
I got a ball. I got a
You
ball.
got a vault.
Well, you know why? Because over the years, now first I'll start by saying it's a new project, but it's not a new script. I wrote this about 25 years ago, and it
It
started
was
out
in
as
the
a
vault. It was
collection.
in the vault. It was
It
in the
was in the
vault. Right.
vault. It was always on the back burner, and it was something I always wanted to do, and it was inspired by back in, oh gosh, I don't even know what years. I think, okay, 25 years ago, somewhere in the 90s or whatever. And so friends, a group of actors, we were in For Color Girls. We did For Color Girls, who was
Oh
considered
yeah.
suicide, and The Rainbow is
Wasn't
Enough.
not
And
suicide
the
wasn't enough.
original,
Right.
absolutely, but we had a great 3-month run all over LA. And when it was done, we were all kind of like, deflated. We were like, what are we going to do now? And so they were like, why don't you just write something for us? And I thought, okay, well, I'll think about it. And so what I did, I went into one of those other vault items, which was a folder full of ideas, poems, all that stuff that I told you that I purged into words, and came out with this really, it had a lot going on in there. And I did a staged reading way back then, and it was quite successful. It needed work because it was a lot. I was saying a lot, and I needed to kind of figure out what is this trying to be, right?
Mhm.
So when I finally, it took a couple of times, did another staged reading, had an audience, the whole thing. People seemed to really like it, but I just felt it wasn't ready yet. It's like, it's almost there, but that baby's still cooking. And about like in 2017, one of my best friends was going to co-produce it for me or with me, but she was going to get the money. And we had the reading at her house, gathered some other actors. And then, I said, oh, okay, I know what I need to do. And I had to go fix it. But then other stuff came up, then the pandemic, a lot of stuff came up in between. And then my friend recently, she passed away 2 years ago, but she was one of my biggest cheerleaders. And
Oh my God.
kind of, I put it on the front burner again because I thought she would really be happy if I finished this project. And then I ran into another good friend of mine at one of the NAACP theater awards. And she's in New York. She's been back east for 20 years or so. And she saw me and said, what's that thing you wrote that time I came to see it? And it was a reading and it was, about all the characters. And I was like, you mean Cut the Crap? And she's like, yeah, she said, that was one of the best things I've ever seen. And when are you going to do that? And I was like, as a matter of fact, I've been thinking about it. And I'm telling you, this was like, I guess last year. And it just motivated me to like, just finish it, like rewrite whatever I need to, tweak it. And I did. And then I felt like I know exactly what it is now. And here it is. And then, once you get that ball rolling, you just got to start talking about it. I keep talking about it so I can keep myself accountable. When my friends say, so what happened to Cut the Crap? Oh yeah, I'm working on it. Now it's at another stage. And now it's at a real stage. So it's good. It's got a lot of stuff in it.
That is so awesome. I mean, your drive, your patience, your vigor, it's amazing. I think that it's also encouraging because there's a lot of people out here that wants to write, especially in California, right? LA, writers, producers. One of the biggest things I think is getting funding. And I think unless you have a big name somewhere, like a Denzel or I don't know. And you also know that now this is what I found, and I'm not in the business, but people who can help you don't. Okay. I mean, it's like they could, but I guess they feel like they don't want to put themselves out there, put themselves in a place. And that's what was so great about John Singleton.
Yes.
He would listen to new artists and motivate them and things like that, and incentivize and work with and encourage. And God rest his soul. But there's not a lot of, because look at John Singleton's career at 18, 19 years old, and how Sony, gave him a shot, and he wouldn't, but wouldn't let him. What I love about that story, Rainelle, he wouldn't give it to Sony unless they let him direct. They let him direct.
Exactly. And that's rare, for them to do that. If they wanted what he had to offer, and for me, they wanted what he had to offer. And my thing is,
everything with timing.
Yes.
And so, Cut
timing.
The Crap, this might be the time. And
it is.
And
it definitely is. And I had to do it myself because I don't want to wait any longer. Like I'm at the point in my life now, like I've helped a lot of people over the years, helped them with their projects, writing wise, because it's easy. I did a lot of it for free. I had to learn how to say, what I do is valuable, and maybe you can't pay me what I'm worth, but you're going to have to pay something. We're going to work something out. Otherwise, go get some of these people that did what I was doing 25 years ago and just write and do it to get the rewards or whatever. My thing is I've got so much stuff in the vault, and I have handed it over to other people's creative idea in the past. Sometimes it worked out, most of the time it didn't. If I'm disappointed in the way that someone else is doing my vision, then what does that mean? Then I better do it myself. Don't complain. So these past few years, I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. In the world, it doesn't even matter. Even if you are young, you don't know when your time is up. Whenever that is, I just want to make sure I've left behind what God gave me to do, because I don't have any children. So I don't have that legacy. These are my babies, so to speak. This is the legacy. So now I've decided, I'm just going to do the work that I've been given to do. And I know that my work is inspirational, even, depending, it doesn't matter the subject. Every time I wrote a script, I would have actors come and do a reading just to hear it, because I like doing all the parts myself. But, eventually I get other people to do it to see, am I missing a little something? But I realized that, I've got to, I've got that vision, I've got to do it. But I always had somebody that would say, I never thought of this like that before. Whatever the subject was, I never thought about it like that before. And people have said that enough times where I realized that that's something I'm here to do, is to make people think about life or different things of life, aspects of life in a way maybe they didn't before. I'm a little quirky. I have, ideas that kind of aren't necessarily the mainstream, but it's all about love. It's all about hope. It's all about never giving up. And it's all, even dealing with death. Some of the themes are life and death. I had a screenplay about, like a child, losing a child. And to me, I of course, I don't know personally, but I know people, anyone will tell you if they ever lost a child, that that's the worst thing in the world. They never expect to bury their own child. I even had a young lady who I didn't know, but she came to read. That's one of my actors invited her. And she cried at the end of this script that I have called Rich. And she said, I wish that I had this for my sister a year ago when she lost her child, because she was so distraught for her. She couldn't even find her way out of it. And she said, I could have told her this story and it would have helped her. And that's like, ooh, it made me feel like if one person could be touched by something that I was inspired to write, I'm doing God's work in my own way. And I'm doing what God gave me to do. And I have to keep doing it until I can't do it anymore. And the only way that's going to happen is if I'm not here. So I just got to keep doing it, try to do as much as I can on my own. It's not easy, but I've stopped believing that, something's going to come and save me. God gave me what I need, I guess, for myself. I have to figure it out. So I figured it out. And this is another big step. So that's why I say this is really important, because I found a way, to finance it myself. It's not easy. Budget is tight, but I've got the best talent that was willing to work, to trust me, just trust me. I know it's different. It's off the cuff. It's not normal, but trust me, it's going to be okay. And they're all happy and excited. And I want to give a shout out. I want to give their names when the time is right. Don't let me.
Please.
Giving a shout out to my actors.
Yes.
Hold on.
And also, tell us a little bit about the storyline. I mean, without giving anything huge away.
That's the thing. It's not really, there's not really a storyline, but what I can say, it's I had something like a little blurb written that actually summed it up pretty good, but of course now I'd have to look for it real quick. But it's about 9 different personalities that come together to interact with each other, help each other. There's humor, there's drama, there's all kinds of interesting and controversial and exciting and fun themes. But it's not a strict play in the sense of, it's kind of like trying to describe for Color Girls. You just say, well, it's a collection of poems that deal with all kinds of themes, around women. This is for every human being can relate to most of the stuff in this. And that's why I call it a poetry and prose, because some of that stuff that I wrote and some of those pieces of paper that were in a folder, that all went in there. And a lot of it, I won't say all of it, because I can't claim that, because people be trying to figure out what's real and what's not. There's a lot of stuff that did come from my real life. And it was joy, pain, lessons learned, relationships, spirituality. It covers everything. It's like covers a life. Any human life could relate to something in here. So, yeah. So it's hard to describe. You got to come and see. Then you'll know what you're talking about.
I have tickets. And I almost feel guilty. I might buy another ticket, because it seems like a lot of people are going on opening. I love like, oh, I'll see
Opening.
you at opening. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I probably, but Friday night going to Hollywood, maybe it won't be so bad. But I did a I bought a couple of tickets for Sunday matinee because
Yeah,
that's closing. And that's going to be emotional too. So that y'all
it
are going to
will.
be hugging and
It,
crying, and I'll get that part of it. Right. Right.
it will be. It will be. It's very touching. It's very funny too, but it's not intention. It's not a comedy. I don't want people to think there's like, a joke every other minute, which is what comedy's supposed to be. It's just that to me,
Right.
life is very funny at times. And I'm that person that friends would call me when they're like, oh, woe is me. And they want to be all sad. And I said, why did you call me? Because I'm about to make you laugh, right? Because you're being very dramatic right now,
Right.
and then
Right.
I'd have
Right.
them laughing. And so again, another gift, but it's the same gift that I use in my plays and my songs and my scripts is the same thing I use in real life. It's like, yes, life can be hard, but it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you. And if you have a good kind of take on, what's really important to worry about, then everything else is small stuff. And you know what they say about the small stuff? Ooh, don't sweat it.
Right. And I don't think you saw my Facebook page, but when I gave thanks, and well, I also did a little blurb, which I call "Paint a Change" pop up after dark.
Mm.
People ask me how do I laugh through things that they're like, how can you laugh at that? I don't think that's funny, and I say that's what's funny, that you
Right.
stressing out about stuff that has nothing to do with you. Zero.
Exactly. And
You
nothing that you
having
can
a trouble.
control.
Look, the
You
best
can't.
prayer in the world is what? The serenity prayer. The things
Yes.
you learn the difference between the things that you can accept and the things that you just can't. You just
Ex-
it's out of your control. And
exactly.
people look at me and they say, well, you're not upset. I'm like, about what? about, about some
And-
stuff that I have no control over.
right.
Everybody has their what own DNA. You can only control your DNA. And that's not always the case, because somebody can interrupt you if you allow them.
Yes.
So that's why it's important to have. You're a Scorpio too, right? Aren't you a Scorpio? What is your
Oh
birthday?
no. I
Oh,
am a lovely Libra lady.
okay. So Libra, Scorpio. Okay, all right, okay. But you
Libra.
must be
No,
late in
no, they're not the same.
okay,
But it is
well,
October. I am
you're
in
right.
October.
No, you the end of October, right?
Beginning
You
October 3rd.
oh, okay. My mother was October 2nd.
Real see, she was a lovely Libra lady too. Uh-oh,
Okay,
was
for
she?
the for the sake of being on a global podcast, yes, she was. Okay, so
Yes, she was. Bless
yes,
her
she
heart.
was. Okay. We miss you, Miss Pearl. They called that my mother's nickname was Miss Pearl, and that's what everybody
Oh,
knew her as. So this is a shout out to you, Mom. We miss you and we love you. So so let's talk about your cast members, and if you can, what I would love, give a little blurb about them. Okay, so whoever it is, what they do, what their background is, and how they got involved.
oh, well, that part I can do. Now all their little bios I just sent in, and I'd have to go and run and find it in order to do
Okay,
that, but
that's
I
okay.
might. But I
Just
can
give
tell
me
you how they got involved. I can tell you this. So, well, I'll just go in the order that they appear. So we've got Melina Gay. Do you know Lena? I
Melina
can tell you she's
Gear.
right of her, on her own as well. She's a
You said her name was
award-winning director and
uh-huh.
producer. Okay, but she's also a wonderful actress. and she's playing Seduction. I'll give you her character, Seduction. Okay. Then we've got Julia Taylor, young, beautiful young lady. Now, her grandmother, who I did some volunteer work for earlier this year, and then I ran into her at another event, and she's like, "Well, aren't you doing your play or something?" I said, "Yeah, I'm casting right now." And she's like, "Well, my granddaughter's an actress." And I'm thinking, yeah, everybody's an actress, how it's LA. But then I thought, you know what? How old is she? And then she was like perfect. And it was the last role that I needed a young, kind of I just needed to see. She sent me, I said, send me something. She sent the picture. Oh, she's beautiful. Okay, send me something else. She sent me her reel because I wanted to see if she could do. I said, oh, you know what? She's perfect. So brought her in. Like, I
Wow.
handpicked my cast because I can't trust. I can't
You can
trust going
always
out.
trust you can always trust the grandmother.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The
She was
grandmother's
right
gonna tell
on.
you the truth. The
She
grandmother's
was
gonna be
right.
honest.
She was right on. And then I've got Bree Smocks who play. Oh, and Julia plays Shaky. Then we've got Bree Smocks playing Wisdom. Now she came on kind of late. I just met Bree a couple months ago, volunteering for another event, and she was there as well. And we hit it off. And she heard me talking about my play coming up, and she said, well, I'll do anything to help. I want to be behind the scenes. I want to learn. I was like, sure, I'll bring you on. So I didn't have that cast part yet when we did the first table read. So I let her read, and she did such a good job. I'm like, oh, okay, I think we can work with that. So we'll figure it out. So she's
Would you
doing
like to
Wisdom.
be in front of the scenes and not behind? I know you want to be behind the scenes, but would you like be in front? Yeah, awesome. Okay.
Exactly. And she was happy about that. That's cool. Then I've got Paul Bicky Billy, and he is playing Player is his character. And I want to say he's from Cameroon, I believe. Look, I'm trying to remember those bios. I sat up till 3 a.m. retyping those things and trying to get it down to 100 less than what they gave me. They're giving me like 3-page bios. I'm like, honey, that ain't gonna fit on the paper. Okay.
Right,
But
right.
then I got Marcel Logan, who plays Anger, and I met him at a bar that he works to, well, restaurant, but he's a bartender in Beverly Hills. And I went there. My friend Lynn took me for my birthday, and she said, oh, I know the bartender here. He's an actor. You should talk to him. And
Oh
I'm
my
over here like
God.
questioning. Every time he came around, I'm asking him all these different questions, right? Finally, I'm like, I got a part for you, I think. And he was like, oh, okay, So anyway, got him. See, I'm telling you, it all came like organically, right? Now, these next two, okay, so I've got Jean Charles. Jean, he's a Haitian, beautiful, was in my play. He starred in Layers in my movie. And I told him, if I do anything else, I want you to be a part of it. I wanted my other actor too, but he was always busy working. They're all working. They're all
Right,
working, but they managed somehow to, all get it together. And he
right.
plays Lover. And then he brought in a couple of his talented friends, Nyrene Brown, who plays actress, and Jarrell Pippins, who plays thinker. See, they're all personalities. They don't have names. This is just their personality. And then also Vicky Yvonne, Jean brought her. So he like helped me cast like half of them. And she plays Dreamer. And then I've got my good friend Matt Gibson, who I've known for 100 years, and he plays the mysterious man, which so that's my
Wow.
cast of 10 people that I've had to wrangle for 2 months trying to get them all, crack the whip a little bit. I started out all sweet and nice, and then one day they were like, ooh, okay, we better get it together. She's not playing now. So I love them all. They're
Wow.
beautiful people.
Well, Rainelle, this is just bravo, bravo, bravo. I mean, your face is just glowing and your eyes are just sparkling and dancing because what
Oh,
this the message here to me is follow your dreams and follow your passion because we don't do that enough. We don't do that enough. We don't do that enough. We don't follow our hearts and follow our dreams and passion. Most of us can't afford to do it. Just can't because we're
That's true.
chasing the
That's
almighty dollar, right? But
yeah.
this way you don't have regrets, right? You don't,
Absolutely.
you don't have the
Absolutely.
regrets because you did it your way. You followed what you wanted. So
Yeah.
now I'm gonna challenge you because
Uh-oh.
after the 15th of December, you're gonna be there. I'm gonna be there with you. And you're
Yes.
gonna be like have that feeling. You're gonna be happy, sad, right? Because you did it. But now what? Now are you gonna do this again? I mean,
Look,
have more
if it
dates.
happens, I'd be happy to do it again if anybody out there wants to put up the money this time, because
Well, okay.
this was a challenge, because and I didn't have to resort to eating ramen noodles because I do cook, but in another world it would have been one of those. Oh, yes, I'm eating ramen noodles every night just to get this done. Well, I didn't have to do that. Didn't have to max out my credit cards, but I knew this was coming someday. I always try to save a little bit on for my special projects, and also built up my credit, so I had excellent credit. So I just got it done. And it's one of those things where I always have something next to do. I've already got
Okay.
something lined up. And look,
All
and
right.
Poppy's Place, I'm turning Poppy's Place into a series. And I've only gotten 6 episodes of that written, but that book is thick. Oh, which I happen to have right here, since you mentioned Poppy's Place, the novel.
I have the
And
book. I think I brought the book. I have it somewhere. I remember buying it.
504 pages. 504 pages. So it's gonna take a minute to make it an
Oh, wait a
entire
minute. I don't
series.
have that book. Is it on Amazon?
It is on Amazon.
Okay,
Um,
so all right. So I have to
you
but
have
I
to
know
get
I
the.
bought it. But it was a smaller one. It was always that big one.
It was always this big. It looks small on your shelf with all those other books. That's why.
Well, I mean, it is a lot of books, though. It's probably 1,000 books over here. You're right. You're right.
I'm sure it kind of just, yeah. But that is, that's going to be interesting, because it was always intended to be a series. I always was writing it to, back in the day when Soul Food was on the air. I
Right.
always thought, oh, I could write something like that. Just great Black families, Black people doing regular things. Not always the same old, same old. And when that went off the air, I had already written a pilot idea. And one of my neighbors was saying, she was at Warner Brothers right before the strike too. And she said, oh, it would be good. You need to get in there and write like a series, work on that. Think about a series. And I said, well, I actually have a pilot for something. She said, well, keep working on that. So I started doing that too. So, all these things started as something else, but they ended up where they were supposed to be. But full circle, Poppy's Place will be a series. I'm going to write the whole thing because I want to have creative control as much as possible. And if, other projects in the past, I've sold and then never to be seen again. And even if the people intended to do something, they never did. So I feel like they wasted a good story. They never even used it. And now I can't do anything with it, So I said, I'm not selling anything away anymore. So I've got everything's in the vault, because if I died before I finish all this stuff, I told my folks, don't throw nothing away. You better go in there. There's going to be gems in there somebody might want to buy. But while I'm here, I'm going to try to do it the way that I want to. I'll rise and fall and fail if I have to, but it'll be doing it the way that I want to. And that's all. And then I'll be okay, But if I give it to someone else to do, hand over for somebody suggested, oh, I know some great directors. I said, well, what part of I'm going to direct this did you not hear? I'm directing
Right.
it. I'm going to be okay. Don't worry about it. But that's what I need, support. So, when you tell somebody you're going to do something and they go, oh, good for you, congratulations, then they're for you, If they're like thinking of other ways that you, don't need to do this yourself, or you can do it, so, and they're not offering any money. And even the money probably wouldn't have turned me this time, because it's not always about the money. Sometimes you just got to do what your spirit tells you. Actually, you should do that all the time. but eventually people learn how to do that. I've learned how to do that now. I'm old enough and wise enough now. So yeah,
So
that's it.
as we wind down, I want to ask you this question, and this is pivotal. I
Okay.
think. I think. Why cut the crap? How'd you come up with that title?
You know what? I don't even know if I know. It was one of those things where I guess all of the stuff in there, like I said, some of it was from heartbreaks and, just childhood things that whatever you have to get over and all this stuff. And I think in my mind, I was just saying, why am I worried about things that I can't control? Like just what you're talking about, all the subjects that are in there are just regular things in life. Like stuff happens, the other word for crap. So
Right,
that
right.
stuff happens. And so I'm like, cut the crap. Like, why are you worried about all this? Like, just do what you're here to do. And it made me feel a certain way. And every time I said it to someone, they thought it was a great title. So I never changed it. There have been, other suggestions. Oh no, don't call it that. Why? Nobody can ever give me a reason why. So that means my idea is okay, right? And one funny thing I'm going to tell you before I go, I've been texting friends and making sure everybody, knows about this. So I did a whole test, like text about 100 friends to remind them the other day. And I put the top of the text that cut the crap in caps with exclamation points. And then I'm like, come out and see my play. And I had all the details. About 5 people called me or texted back thinking that they were in trouble. They thought they had done something to hurt my feelings or they did something wrong because they read cut the crap and they thought I was yelling at them. Don't ask me why. That's their own guilty conscience. They must
Wait
have
a
been
minute.
doing
Yeah.
it.
Why do they think they did? You need to.
Aha. That's
Right.
the question.
Right.
What you've been
Why would
doing
they
that
think? I got
you
that
do.
text, and I didn't think that. I didn't. You sent me the same text, and I followed directions. I bought
You
tickets. So.
you've been a good girl, Clarice. That's why. Some of these
Wow.
folks been feeling a little guilty. They see cut the crap. They're like, oh Lord, what did I do now? But
Well,
it got their attention. So it's all good.
here's the thing. My vision for you is, and we'll chat about this. And I do support you. Is to talk to you offline about some things. I do my thing is marketing. I'm a salesperson. That's what business development, strategic leadership. That's me. So I can think of 1,000 things for you and support you because I think that when you're this creative, you need to just create and you need to have someone there who can market you and get you into the right people because
Yeah,
you just need to have laser focus because
seriously.
you love what you do. You
Can
love
you
what you do.
tell?
Yeah, you
I
love what you
do.
do.
And I
Yeah,
have so much more. I have so much
right.
more
It's in the
just
bar.
waiting for the right time,
The bar.
waiting for, getting my
Right.
name out there is helping. This is helping. Thank you for this platform. That's why I'm doing these
No
smaller
welcome.
things so people can see that I'm really good at all this. I can direct it, I can write it. I don't have to always do it all. I have to do it all now because I don't have a choice if I want to get it done right
Right.
now. You know how things happen. As soon as you do something and then it's a big success and everybody comes running at you with, now they want to help. It's okay. But, this way that I can ask for what I want, get creative input, nobody can take it away and turn it into something else. That's the goal, is to do it the way that I envision it, because my vision is great. My vision came naturally and God sent. So I trust that more than I trust anybody else,
Well, I
obviously.
tell people all the time, follow your gut. Your gut's been with you your whole life. Other
Mm-hmm.
people have not. You were born with
Absolutely.
intuition. So follow
Yes.
your gut. If your gut tells you no, then don't do it. Don't say
Yes.
after you do it, oh, I didn't never felt good about it. Well, you shouldn't.
Exactly. Then why? Then why? That's what I
Right,
would say.
right. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So, like,
Yeah.
okay, sidebar. I never do. Okay, but sidebar. Like people who voted for blah blah blah, who now is saying blah blah blah.
Right.
Why are you surprised? I mean, what made you think? Don't you see all those black people in the cabinet he picked? Eh, none. But this is
Yeah.
so. But we don't follow our guts. We
Right.
follow Club Shay Shay and TikTok. That's what we follow.
Well,
And
look,
I've
the
never seen Club Shay Shay, but I hear about it. And I
right.
and I'm like, why would you be listed to that? No offense, Shay Shay, Shannon, whatever your name, Shannon Sharp. Is
Yeah.
that her name?
Sharp, I
Shannon Sharp.
think. Yeah. I only have seen clips of things that went viral or whatever,
I
something. But
never.
yeah,
But
I'm not
anyway,
even on
it's not
TikTok. I'm
like
not even
I'm
on
that. It's just anyway. But it would be nice to get. I don't have a big following, but the people that I have are committed, and I do it. My passion is to help people. However I can help
Yeah.
them, however I can motivate you. That's what my passion is, and I do my best.
Yeah.
And if we do our best, that's all we can do. But you are a
Absolutely.
creator. You should be somewhere just creating. That's it. That's it.
From
Creating.
your lips, but it's coming. I
Right.
think something good is definitely coming. But if you survive, cut the crap on Sunday, then you come talk to me because you'll be. I don't know how it's gonna hit you, but you either gonna be like your sides will be aching from laughter, or you're gonna have a little tear. You're gonna feel some kind of way, but you will have an opinion about it. I guarantee. So,
Well, and because I have a degree in theater and TV and screen script writing,
yeah,
I'll see it from the eyes of a person that is a writer. And because I acted for years, I did some writing. I worked for CBS as a writer, for news writing, not that,
yeah,
but
that's all right.
I did two internships. So, but I knew that wasn't. I like sales. I'm a salesperson. I like that.
Yeah,
Convince,
and see,
convince
I'm a
you should do
horrible, horrible salesperson. I can't sell myself if I try, but I do try. But it's so
right.
funny because I just move on to the next thing. Oh, I finished that. That's great. And then I'm moving on. It's like, well, what did you do with it? Oh, well, yeah, that's not my
That's why.
forte,
See
but it's
that.
okay.
That's what I saw immediately with you. I said she needs a person. She needs a person because she's so creative that she just should be creating. And
That is my logo or my log line, whatever you call my whatever. My theme is creative being creative. And I've had that on my that's what I've been saying forever. I had it on my resume forever. Creative being creative.
how was that for clairvoyance? How's that? I did good, didn't I? Right,
You
right
did great.
from 35 minutes. Well, really the first 10 I said she's not doing, she should just be creating. She should have somebody that you should have an agent by now. Where's your agent? That's what you need.
I
A
know.
good old agent. I
Yes.
don't do
Okay.
that,
Well,
but
we'll
I
put it
wish
out
I
there. We'll
did.
put it out there.
Yeah.
All you
So,
agents, come out here and see the show so you can see what you might be able to get.
well, we've got some people. Sandra is Nicholson, who is she's got her new podcast. She just hit a year, and I've been trying to get her on here too, but she's always busy. So
Yeah.
she's just saying awesome. My dear friend of many years says sounds like a great play. Vivian, it is a great play, and please support. Here's all the information and the times.
Yeah.
So come out and support
Can I
Rainelle.
give out just a shout out to if you're on Facebook and you go to my Facebook page, Rainelle Saunders, all of the links are there to buy tickets and has all the poster or I see my email address. If you're not on Facebook or you don't have another way to get them directly from me. The theater's not selling the tickets. I'm selling the tickets. Go on my email and send me an email that you're interested in. I'll send you the link back and you can buy tickets. It'll have all the information for you.
And you know, look, this is the female Tyler Perry we're looking at right now. You heard it here first, okay? You're gonna look, hey, you can't say no. You can't say no. Look, this man created an empire by dressing up as a woman and creating Medea.
Yeah.
And did you know this? His stage plays is what funded his production company, how he started movies.
I know. And wait, and I know that he put his last dime into that one play where he didn't think anybody was going to show up and he thought that was it. And then he looked out of the hotel room or something where the story wasn't. There's a line down the block. Right. And then that from there, he was good to go. Well, I'm hoping to see that line around the block too.
And also remember that Hollywood laughed at him. And now, with the last few years, they marvel at him because he is the only Black person that has a whole studio, product everything. So you never know. Never say never. Yeah. So what's next after?
I wouldn't. It's just, but the things that I really want to do now, finish Poppy's Place, the series, and that's a lot because first of all, I can bring a lot of people some work because there are lots of roles. Poppy's Place goes back 2 generations in each of the main 6 characters' lives, and that's a whole lot of stuff. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. So that's for one. And then all my screenplays, I don't have to write another script. I really don't. Like I have enough work to keep people busy for a while if I get the backing, if I can get the financing, if I can get just someone to see, what I've got to offer and let me do my thing. Trust that I can make it good, even though you don't know me as a director.
Well, the key word is, and this is, I'm her agent. I'm not, but I'm going to pretend like that. What writer, producer, director Rainelle Saunders is saying is, let her do her thing so that you can get some ching from her doing her thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Trust and believe is all I'm saying. Trust and believe.
Rainelle Saunders doing her thing will bring you some ching. Okay? So,
and if you like it, you can get some bling.
And then get some bling from the ching. But listen, bottom line is you have to look, okay. And I wrote something. I wrote a book, and it's called Crashing to the Concrete Ceiling. And it's about mentoring informal networks and career sponsorships. It's universal. That's what we need to learn how to do in order to navigate through the areas we need to be in. That's what we do not do. We think, oh, I have a mentor. A mentor by itself, useless. You need a sponsor. And you need informal networks. Mentors are great. They are. Yeah. But they're useless. No offense to anybody. Because the mentors are great. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's the sponsor through the informal networks who's going to bring you in to the informal network saying, look, who's going to put their career on the line for you. So I hope that you sent some of these emails to people. I mean, I would post this on Oprah's page. I'm gonna tag her on this Facebook thing, on this podcast. Seriously, one of the people, more than one, but lately had someone on my show who ended up on the front page of the Chicago Sun-Times and on the news from someone being on this show talking about his story. You don't know
Yes,
who's going to see this. You don't
this
have
is
a
true.
clue.
This is true. I
So
just know
that,
I'm doing what I do, and you did what you did by being kind enough to bring me on. And again, I thank you and appreciate you. I don't want to forget. I know I said it before, but just in case, it can be said 3 times at least.
well, you know what?
Thank
I
you.
like, no, it's not a problem. Listen to me. I'm a person that applauds excellence. I don't run from excellence. I want you to be smarter, prettier, everythinger more than me because I don't want to be the sharpest pencil in the box or the brightest color because then everybody's depending on me. I want to
Right.
delegate. Okay, okay. I want to delegate.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
this is the way we do it. It's nice hanging out, but if hanging out is not accomplishing my goal,
Yeah.
you can see me on Facebook and just give me a like or a heart. Okay. But if it's not beneficial to me, if I'm
Yeah.
trying to do something,
Right.
right? So
Yep.
that's what it's all about. Just being able to let people know that I mean, I know I learned so much about you in the last few minutes, and I know, and believe it or not, we're 3 minutes away from an hour. That's why I told you it
Oh,
goes fast,
okay.
right? I told you. People
I'm
think an
sorry.
hour,
I know I can go on and on.
right? But you know what? I would like to have you back anytime, please. Come
Thank
back,
you.
and
Thank
and
you. I
and
will.
Sandra says congratulations, and
Thank
Sandra,
you. Thank
go
you,
to
Sandra.
her page and buy a ticket. Get a ticket, go to her Facebook page. You all are friends. Go to her Facebook page and buy a ticket. So, anyway,
Yes.
thank you, Miss Rainelle
Thank
Saunders. Okay.
you. Dogs
I
so
will
clever,
see
you.
you. I will see you soon. I cannot
Okay.
say thank you enough. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And
Thank
I
you.
and I want you to know that great things will happen for you. Great things, not good things, great things. And you're going to take your
Okay.
great to greater.
Okay. Well,
And
let
you're
me put
going
my
to turn
seatbelt
your,
on. I'm ready.
and DeFrance says hi. Hi, DeFrance. Thank you
Hi,
for
good
joining
friend.
us. I
Yeah.
just want to say thank you to everybody. Please like my page, Facebook, YouTube, and thank you for supporting me. This is my 4th year. Thank you tonight, Renelle, for helping me walk through my pain and change into my victory. And I want to say thank you, Renelle Saunders, and the best of luck to you with your play. And we're going to cut the crap. And
Got
you
the
guys are
crap,
going to
baby.
support and cut the crap. And we're going to support you. And we love you. And
Love you
thanks,
too.
everybody.
Thank you.
So next week,
Bye.
we got a guest. We got Angelique Johnson, and she's going to tell us how her and two other women changed the world of golf for Black women. So stay tuned. Thanks, Rainelle,
All right.
and I'll see you all next week. Take care. God bless everybody.